Spillers. Mr. Wilson, can you say hi to the Spillers?
What's up, Spell?
Yes, thank you. You sound so good. Okay, you ready? Heavenly Father, bless this to be an amazing podcast. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, I'm going to press record and play. Hey world, welcome to the Spill Podcast, your favorite podcast featuring your favorite podcast host, me, your girl, Mrs. Wilson. Hey Spillers, welcome back. I am super excited to have my husband, my king, my man in the building. Mr. Wilson is in the building. Mr. Wilson, can you say hey to the Spillers?
What's going on, Spell?
Why are you looking at me like that? The Spillers on
You made your
YouTube
own little move.
see how you're looking at me, but is there any particular reason why you're giving me this little, you
You
can,
made your own little zone if you watch.
oh, okay. So, like, how do you feel about me being in my own little zone? Does it what does it do for you? Be PG. No, I kind of jumped to it, but how does it make you feel?
And that was sexy.
Oh, okay.
You be blushing the whole time.
Oh, okay. Do I be blushing or do you be blushing?
No, you be blushing.
Well, okay, I guess I'll take that. I'm super excited to have one of my most favorite guests, my resident host. He still has not admitted that he's a resident host yet, but he is, because whenever I just want to converse or have great dialogue with anybody, of course I choose you. So thank you for joining us today, Mr. Wilson. Are you excited about being here?
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
But you made this sacrifice for me, so I appreciate it. And I do want to go ahead and put out my disclaimer. I have not had a conversation with Mr. Wilson about this episode. So anything that he says, charge it to his head and not his heart. Charge it to his heart.
I ain't no cussing.
Okay, you gonna be good? You gonna be in your best behavior? I'm just saying. That's why I was one of the Spillers. Whatever comes out, it ain't got nothing to do with me, but it is partially my fault because I did not discuss what we are going to talk about with you. But it's all good, okay? Spillers, we've been outside, y'all. We have been outside. I think we're the most tired couple, the most tired human beings in the world. And it's hot. It's hot as hell. I mean, it's so hot, you get tired. You was telling me today when you came in.
Who fault is it?
It's the why?
We want to go places.
Yeah, but when we were outside, it wasn't as hot as it's been the last couple days. Yesterday, baby, it was so hot. I went to one of my closest friends, my line sister's anniversary, and then a few of us, we went to brunch afterwards, and I came in at like 5 o'clock. I didn't do anything else until this morning. Like, I literally laid down.
I ain't go outside yesterday, so.
Yeah, you had the luxury of being in the house all day, maxing and relaxing, things that I envy, and I'm looking forward to it too. So I understand. I just came off of my 20th class reunion high. We had an amazing weekend. The love, the fun that I had with my peeps was super dope. Mackenzie, our baby girl, just celebrated her 15th birthday. She had 2 parties, y'all. She had one with her homegirls, her best friends at the bowling alley. And then this past Saturday, we celebrated with our family. And it was hot, but it wasn't as hot as it was yesterday. And then prior to that, we just been moving and grooving. Like, we just been moving and grooving. And I'm ready to sit down for a second. I think this may be this weekend. I think next week we got the boat thing with the girls.
Y'all see that Razorback dude that just had the accident on their boat?
Listen, we're not going to be doing all that. We just going to be chilling. What happened? Can you tell us this story?
I just walked in and seen the dude walk down. I just seen him see the little Razorback dude.
So is that
your... little black dude.
So is that your excuse or your reason not to get on this water with us? I might I be by myself. My
Too much
sisters
water for me to
from
drink.
other men. Too much water for me to
Pray
drink.
for you. I'm just sitting on that plane.
Not even with a life jacket, Mr. Wilson.
There's too many of our own kind.
Too many black people. He said if it was maybe a white captain or something, but see, my struggle is real. But for the most part, he's on board with a lot of stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the water, baby, mm-mm. I mean, we've been to the beach before, baby. He's gonna go only so far.
I mean, I don't understand what y'all going to get on the boat to do.
Just to relax, to bond with
How you gonna
nature,
relax
Mother
on the boat with all
Nature.
that water?
The water, that's serenity, that's peace. You're gonna have on your life jacket, and it's like a lake. It's not like we're gonna be on a
10
river.
people, how many people gonna be on the boat?
Like 2, 4,
How you gonna relax?
7.
That ain't no relax.
Pray for me, Steelers, that I get this man to come on the boat with me. But while we're talking about on the boat, it's hot outside. So wrapping that up, take care of yourselves. Make sure you are hydrated. Make sure you are drinking water. Make sure that you are not beating yourself up by staying in the sun too long, because that sun is not playing with us, y'all. It is not playing with us, and we do not need to play with it. Heat strokes, people faint, dehydration, all of that is real, okay? And not dehydration by drinking water or adding little fruit packets to your water. Not water, but pops and juices. Drink H2O.
Gatorade good.
Gatorade is pretty good, but nothing is better than water. Our body is about 90% made of water, so water is what it is. Drink water, H2O. Get that water in you, and if you want to go out there and play with your grass, Mr. Wilson messing stuff up.
I'm about to say something about you gotta see what's in her cup.
And see what had a Lord stop it. Just a little H2O mixed with fermented juice, you know. But just take care of yourselves, okay? Spillers, you all know what time it is. It is the spill mental check time. This is the time where you have the opportunity to stop, pause for the cause, do whatever it is necessary to make sure that you are tuned in with yourself to discern your emotions, and just make sure you are good. Health is wealth. I'm an advocate for mental health. I take that very serious. Look at what we're dealing with in our world today. This is a serious moment. I'm not even going to ask you nothing. But considering everything that's going on, it is important that we are making sure that we are okay. So ask yourself, Phyllis, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Come on, ask me how.
How is your mental? How are you emotionally? How are you physically? Sometimes our physical health can have a lot to do with the way that we feel mentally. So it's important that we're doing the proper things to make sure we're good physically either. I'm not saying that you got to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying that you got to work to get Serena abs. But I am saying a little cardio, anything that's going to keep that brain functioning, get your heart pumping so that you can be good mentally is awesome, okay?
Excuse me.
So here goes the question.
What part of Serena did you just say?
Her abs. I did not say ass. I said abs. Because Serena has a big bottom and she fine, but she has some abs too. She built like a sister, but baby, that waist and them abs are small. But I said all of that to say it's imperative that we're doing whatever it is necessary to make sure we're good physically, because that's going to increase our mentality and make sure we're good mentally. Mr. Wilson, you know, whenever you come into the podcast room, you got to do your spill mental check. I'm nervous to ask, but I know, but tell the spills how you are, sir. You see how extra?
No, all in all, I'm good. I'm blessed. So I do have a little. I don't know if it's got to be mental. I don't know if it's. So if it's jealousy like a type of mental.
Yeah, jealousy is definitely mental and it's foolish. So where did that come from?
So I have a mental and a foolishness going on, Spillers. I'm trying to see how to compete with an iPhone 13.
You know what?
Was that iPhone 13?
Yes.
I'm trying to see how to compete with this iPhone 13. You know what I'm saying? See what I can do to be close to it like this iPhone.
Don't do that. Now you're gonna have people thinking stuff crazy.
All three of us be there. That's the problem. I'm saying.
Who is all three of us?
Me, you, and the phone. I'm trying to see how you can lay this phone down.
I am going to do better, and I'm gonna tell you something. You hadn't even noticed that I had my phone down Friday and Saturday because I wasn't even on social media those days. Yesterday was my first time logging into social media since Thursday. And I've been under you, no phone, watching snowfall, catching up so we can be ready for the new season, all that. And have you said something about that? Can you give me some cool points for that though?
Yeah, I can. Cause Saturday we was at baby party. So.
And then we came home early though.
You didn't have it then.
And then last night when I came from brunch.
Yeah, you was a little tipsy.
But I was under you.
Yeah, you was sleeping.
Thank you. I was those. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so Steelers, I pray that you are well. If you are not well, say something so that we can do something.
Yeah, I just said so.
I'm going to do something, baby. I promise I am. I'm going to get it together. Thank you for asking me how I'm feeling, though, Mr. Wilson.
Well, you the host.
Anyway, I am well, Steelers. Again, I told you I've been super busy, productively busy, but all is well my way. I do try to get in some cardio at least 3 to 4 times a week. I have to do that so that helps me mentally. I drink plenty of water, and I'm grateful that I do because yesterday and today, it shows me exactly what I'm going to be doing the next 6 or 7 weeks. I will not be outside. Maybe I'll be inside.
Oh, yeah, it's too hot.
It is excruciating hot. But anyway, I pray that you're well. If you're not well, again, say something so that we can do something. Okay? All right, moving on. Again, happy June. This is one of my favorite months. I know y'all hear me say that all the time. My favorite. I do have a handful of favorite months, but June is one of my favorite months because it's a month that reminds me that I'm black. Thank God I'm black. Hey, I won't take it back. Hey, I'm proud to be black.
You said June all the time reminds you of that?
Well, no, June, I said it's a reminder, but it's not the only time. I'm reminded that I'm black every day. Every single day. But June is Black Music Month, so that's super dope. It is Pride Month. I appreciate love is love. Love wins. I know a lot of people, LGBTQT, people, LGBTQ. Anyway, I know a lot of them, and I love them dearly, close to me, far, near, dear, whatever. I love them. It is the month for Juneteenth, where we celebrate when the last African-American slaves were freed in Galveston, Texas in 1865. So this is our Black folk Independence Day, right? Because this is the day.
Did they celebrate it down here this year?
Yeah, they are. The Juneteenth is going to be, we have several different locations. We have one at the Mosaic Templars, which they've been known to doing often. There's going to be one at the Interstate Park. This is the second annual Juneteenth at the Interstate Park. We participated in it last year. They're going to be down there. They're doing a parade first. And then some other churches and communities are hosting. Remember the one that was in the neighborhood last year on Arch Street? I can't think of the name of it. My homegirl Billie Jean owns the market that hosted it. But
the one on Wright Avenue.
Yeah, I forgot about the one on Wright Avenue. We went to that one too, the historic Wright Avenue. I think that was the one that was by don't get me mixed up with names, but that one is gonna be dope. So it's a lot of different things going on for Juneteenth. So if you are not doing anything, it's gonna be hot. But if you're hydrated and you've been drinking your water and you're good, go ahead and go out and join the festivities. Make sure this is a conversation that you have with your children, the importance of celebrating this holiday. For African Americans, it's something that we have to instill in them. We have to teach them the difference between July 4th, 1776 and June 19th, 1865. There's a huge difference. You know what? They're starting to sell fireworks for Juneteenth too. Yeah. I've been seeing that. Now, some of them might look a little illegal. I've been seeing some on the side of the road, people selling those firework bundles. So I think that'll be pretty dope, considering that we spend a lot of money July 4th for fireworks. Why not celebrate our own holiday and put a lot of,
Well, go and get them. I'll pop
them. Of course you'll pop them. we may see what's going to happen because it's Sunday this year. And I'm excited because I'm teaching summer school and my students are going to be working on Juneteenth stuff Friday. So anyway, I'm super excited about that. And then last but not least, I want to acknowledge the month of June for being Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Did you know that this was Alzheimer's Awareness Month? It is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. That is a mental disease that affects the memory that a lot of folk go to. I know it all too well. My grandmother, who lived 98 beautiful years, struggled with Alzheimer's her last 9 or 10 years of her life. We didn't go through the really bad phase where we couldn't take care of her. We didn't have to put her in a nursing home. She stayed in her home that she's lived in since the late 60s until her death. But it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. It's not for the weak. So shout out to all of the caretakers that are helping care for someone with Alzheimer's. I had the honor and the pleasure of helping my mother and my aunts and my uncle take care of my grandmother for the last 9 to 10 years. Something that we were saddened because I guess we didn't like seeing her struggle with it because of who she was, but she didn't really take us down through there. I've seen videos where a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's patients really, it's rough on their family because their family can't handle the mental capacity, that it
what's that?
takes.
That's when they can't remember your name.
Oh, they can't remember anything. A lot of times, like one thing my grandmother struggled with, she really didn't know who we were. She was familiar with her surroundings, I think because of the scent and the way her house looked, but she always went back. You know what I'm saying? Like she would call us her siblings' names, siblings that were deceased before, of course, I was born, but before my mother was born. She would call her mother and her dad name, a lot.
How old you gotta be to catch that?
There's really no age. The lady from... you know what, you're trying to be funny. Fellas, wait till y'all look at this video, because this man, you know what? Look at yourself in that camera, Mr. Wilson, and shake your head and slap yourself, because you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I do not struggle with that. I remember what I want to remember. Yeah, since we doing that. Anyway, so shout out to the caregivers, like I was saying. If you're doing it wholeheartedly and you're doing it from the bottom of your heart, if you're praying, God will provide you with everything you need so that you can be a successful caregiver. The only advice I can give you is if you do not have patience, pray for it because it's necessary and you're going to need it. And understand that whatever your loved one is struggling with, it's not anything that they can control. So just look at it as them being in a body that's not them, if that makes sense, right? So rest in peace to all of the beautiful souls that transitioned due to that disease. My grandma, she was the bomb, and she went on gracefully in her sleep. Y'all got Mr. Wilson, take a little sip of that water.
Yeah, I'm good. I would just, that was a thank you.
So yeah, shout out to y'all. Did you want to add anything with that? Did your grandma struggle with that, Lydia? She didn't have dementia or anything?
More so my wife.
You know what? Your wife don't struggle with that. I'm not going to receive that. And I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. However, I do have selective memory. I will say that.
But no, my grandma didn't though.
She didn't? Okay. Do you know anybody personally that struggled with that?
Nah, I thought I'm having the young people.
He's trying to be funny. But anyway.
Yeah, I ain't never seen no older person like that.
Okay, so you've never been around an older person that...
I just see all the young people like they can't remember nothing.
Okay, so anyway, so shout out to the caregivers. Y'all gonna be all right. And I'm not telling you anything that I've heard. I'm telling you what I know, what I have witnessed, and what I have experienced with the help of God. Myself, my family personally, it was a smooth breeze when my grandmother, the hardest part was when she was nonverbal and when she was bedridden. But that wasn't even really a struggle because we had great help. So that's that. Before we go any further, Spillers, have y'all followed us? Because my YouTube subscribers really hadn't budged. And I need y'all to get on board. If you have not followed us on our social media outlets, please do so as soon as possible. Our Instagram is The Spill Podcast 21. TikTok is The Spill Podcast. YouTube is The Spill Podcast. And if you are having a hard time finding us, just type in my name, Latoya, Latoyya. Wilson is the last name, and you will see my logo. It says The Spill. It's 2 wine glasses toasting, 2 wine glasses toasting. Kind of spilling over, but not really. What you laughing for?
Yeah,
Whatever. And that is me, okay? So be sure to follow me. I think my YouTube has my picture. You can go to Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Type it in, type my name, and I'm there. Like us, follow us, subscribe, share. I think we be having some good conversations and good dialogue on the spiel. What you think, Mr. Wilson?
I know it's good.
Yeah, I know you know it's good, but
every time I'm on here, I don't know when you have them other guests, I don't be here. Do I be here?
No, because Spotify doesn't show that you've downloaded the episodes and listened. Yeah, look, check your face. Check your face. First of all, we was out a week because we celebrated Mackenzie this week. We're a week behind. Is that the best you can do? Yeah, laugh, back away from the camera. Holding your chest like Fred.
I have this. So you ain't downloading, no. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay, so he's about to grab his phone and show me, but I'm really not interested in seeing that right now.
Well, go ahead. I'm about it.
Okay, so follow us. Now on to our Spill Trend Spillers. Okay, so you all remember episode 8. I had my girl, my soror, Cara Connors, for your honor, in the building. She explained to us what seat she was running for. She was running for a district district number 12. Why we should vote for her. We were talking about just different politics when it comes to her position. And she was trying to encourage us to not only vote for her, but just to vote in general. And then remember episode 9 when Antoine Phillips, Mr. City Director, came on. We talked about the importance of voting and the importance, how imperative it is for us to vote for our local officers, because that's who has the effect on changes that we need to be made in the state capital, which is Washington, D.C. Well, I am happy to let you all know that Cara Connors, for your honors, did win her seat. Snappy, snap, snap. That's what husband? Yeah, that's Gary. So she won, and we are super duper happy and proud of her. We're proud of you, Cara. That's dope. I think that's really dope. And then I watched a video of her ad stuff, and when her daughter, her daughters and her mother, they were watching Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmation. So they really just kind of made your girl a little, sentimental. I just feel like that's dope. I feel like that's amazing for Black girls everywhere to see someone to look like them, to take these high positions that 30 years ago, I'm saying 30 years ago, which is not long ago, but 30 years ago, we would not have probably had the opportunity to do so. What you think about that, Mr. Wilson?
I don't have too much to say.
Okay. He don't get into the politics and the courts and the laws. And listen, I'm not even gonna pull nothing in it, but we're proud of you, Soror Connors. We were out there in numbers, her sorority sisters, her family, her friends. We really represented for that young lady, and the city represented for her more because you all went out and voted. And I think she almost had like 7,000 votes, which to me is not a lot, and that, I have a lot to say about that. However, she conquered, she won, and that just goes to shows that whatever it is that's for you, it is for you. There's nothing nobody or anything can do to change that.
Who was she going against, a basketball player?
No, that she was going for something else. Stallings, I think the last name was Stallings or something, and she was an attorney as well.
Yeah. So
but that's
2 of them.
Yeah, I think it was 2 of them. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, congratulations to Cara Connors for your honor. Now we do want to take a serious moment of silence for the families and the communities of Uvalde, Buffalo, New York, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Maryland, and all of the other cities in our country that has been going through these terrible mass shootings the last few weeks. So let's stop and take a moment of silence for them. Okay, we cannot imagine the pain that they are going through. So we're sending prayers, we're sending healing energy, peace to the families, to the communities. That's why I make it a point every week or every other week to make sure that we tune in and check in with our mental health to make sure that we're okay. Okay? Because unfortunately, cowards and perpetrators are not mentally stable. They're not where they need to be when they make these type of decisions to make other folks suffer. And they're only doing it because they're probably suffering. Not probably, but they are suffering mentally. And whatever hurt they have, they want to project that on others. What's the saying? Hurt people hurt people. And it's very unfortunate. It's super sad. I hate it. It makes me super sad. Something I try not to, I guess, linger on and watch and just dwell on, because it does drain you mentally. But it's important that we are tuned in with ourselves and we take care of our mental, because we don't know what our breaking points will be if we don't. Just like we don't know or didn't know that this would be their breaking point. I know Congress is still fighting to change the gun laws. I'm not a gun advocate. I believe you need to have one for your protection and your security. The basis, Mr. Wilson, giving me. But I don't like guns. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like them. I'm fearful of them. And then I have dreams. I don't sleepwalk, but I do have like really in-depth, deep dreams. And so I just feel like it'll be my luck to just know where the gun is, grab it, and just no, it'll be in my dream. So I don't like guns. I feel like the gun laws certainly need to be more stricter. I feel like people that are mentally competent, you know what I'm saying, should own one. I don't think nothing is wrong with that.
So you say you're not mentally?
I am. I just don't like them. I just don't like them.
I'm glad you don't. I ain't gotta wear it right now.
But you know when necessary, pop, pop, pow, what they say.
Yeah.
We gonna pop something. You play too much. But with that being said, I do think that Congress needs to tighten up on these gun laws. Like, I understand, when you're 18, you have access to purchasing guns, but these rifles and these machine guns, you cannot hunt with those. Like, it should be okay for you to purchase hunt guns and handguns or pistols, but really, what you gonna do with a machine gun at 18?
If they tighten up on them, then the black market gonna make a killing.
Well,
they ain't gonna stop it. They make too much money.
The black market gonna make a killing underground or legally.
They make too much money out of them.
They do. And I was listening to something the other day. They were talking about at the gun show, even if they do change the laws, the gun shows, you can still go and purchase. We see how, that's why I have to have conversations with you before, because you're supposed to come out here and be just a little serious. And I can't even have a serious moment. Goodness gracious. Thank God you was good during that moment of silence, because I knew you was going to break in. Okay. Yeah, you got good respect. Good. Okay, I appreciate that. But do you think they need to change the gun laws for real? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't see no difference in it. If they do change it, the ones 21 gonna buy it for the one that's 18. So it ain't nothing they can do.
So you think people buy the guns and then they resell them and make a profit?
They are buying for somebody.
But and then somebody said that
They've done that before. That's how somebody got caught. That's how the last dude, his parents did something. They took the gun.
Yeah. No, they bought them for Christmas or something.
Yeah. So they can keep doing that.
But listen, so is it true that you can go to a gun show and purchase a gun without having to do any paperwork? You don't have to sign nothing saying that this gun serial number belonging to you, any of that? Is that true?
I ain't been in no gun show in 20 years.
So when you went 20 years ago.
20 years ago, them things was wide open. I'm talking about.
You just went and gave them $500 and they gave you a receipt, but that's it.
They ain't no receipt. They gun collectors. They ain't gotta do nothing but receive money. They collect guns and they sell them. Mm-hmm. You don't go to the pawn shop, because they got pawn shops up in there too.
So you just go to the straight
gun. The gun collectors. But see, they done made a law where the gun collectors gotta do what they gotta run the background check too. So I think it'll change up in there. I ain't been in there, but I think it'll change.
Well, be careful for the legal ones. We know what to do legally when you have a pistol or a gun. You know how to handle your business. Make sure it's put up. Keep it out of the way of your children. If you have children, teenagers that you are concerned about mentally, that's acting off or awkward or just weird, dig into that. That's your child, so you have every right to know what's going on and to figure it out. So do that to help save the world. I was watching something a couple days ago. We said earlier, it's Pride Month. This is the month where the LGBTQT celebrate their love and their freedom all month long. And it was some people literally went to Texas to try to mess up a parade. About 20, close to 30 people. Some of them were from Arkansas. Made me say it, Lord. I saw that Arkansas.
What made you say it? You knew someone?
Well, no, but I'm just like, dang, don't. But it was about 17 different states, almost like the I'm not gonna talk into the January 6th restoration. I'm not gonna get into that insurrection stuff. But anyway, it was almost like that, where a lot of people from this gang, some thugs, they did stop them. A neighbor actually saw them getting into the back of a U-Haul and called the police, and they were busted, thank God. But I said that to say, when we see or feel that something like this is going on, call somebody, say something to somebody, because maybe we can stop it beforehand. The young man in Uvalde, maybe if his grandmother or his grandfather would have known, they probably would have said something. They didn't know he shot the grandma. The same thing for the young man in Buffalo. I don't know if his people knew, but I feel like if we know or have an inkling that anything wrong or off is going on, then if we speak up, there's a chance that we can save some lives. I'm not a snitch, but I'm telling. if it's off to me, I'm gonna pray about it, and get into my emotions and make sure I've discerned what I feel is correct. But I'm going to say something.
If you was to ask me how you look right now, I'd tell you how Day Dad told him.
What?
What he said, Dad, how look.
What would you say?
A snitch. Snitch.
Baby, I ain't snitching, but I'm telling. I am telling. So, peace and blessings and healing and comfort is my prayer for those families and all those communities. Put the guns down, people. I mean, use them when necessary, to defend yourself from an assailant, or when you're being attacked, or from defend yourself. But just hurting people to hurt people, don't do that, okay? That's not necessary.
How you looking at me like that? I don't know.
And anyway, okay, so we are getting ready to get into our Spill Trend topic. Now, I told somebody something about our topic, mama's babies and daddy's maybe. And that was not throwing shade at all, people. Y'all know people say that. Even if a daddy is in the house with his child or children, black or people still live by the saying, mama's babies, daddy's maybes. And that's because the dad is known, traditionally, is known for being the provider, right? He works and he's away from the home longer than the mother, right? And so we normally say that mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Now, we know that's daddy's baby, but we say mama's babies because that's just what we do in our culture. Because we know it can be daddy's babies too, but it's definitely going to be mama's baby. So it was no shade, no touche, none of that. Okay, spillers? It was just funny, okay? Now, I think the only people that were offended were the ones that really have the issues with mama's baby, daddy's maybe. But I wasn't trying to offend anybody, for real. I really wasn't. I'm talking about the stay-at-home moms. Shut up. I'm talking about the moms that are at home with their babies all day while daddy is out busting his tail working and providing to make sure that the mama have home for the babies. Those are mama's babies, daddy's baby,
That's what you saying.
Yeah.
That's how you seen it to use it.
Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I
actually see it when I be around.
So when you're around, it's mama's baby, daddy's baby.
And her say, yeah, they saying, you don't know if it's yours.
Well, that's not how this topic is or was meant to be. Okay, so Sunday is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, father figures. Happy Father's Day. Without you, there wouldn't be us. Just like without us, it would be. But, it's a man's world. But it would be nothing without A woman or a girl. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Brown.
Baby James said that. So, before we get started, I do want to, first of all, send love, peace, healing energy, prayers, just positive energy to those who have never celebrated Father's Day, is no longer celebrating Father's Day, or hadn't celebrated Father's Day in a while, because their fathers are not physically here or were never physically there, okay? And those who will be celebrating Father's Day this year without their fathers, their husbands, or their father figures. I know the feeling all too well, Spillers, as my biological father has been in heaven 9 Father's Days now. This is the 9th Father's Day that I have spent without my biological father. But I'm extremely blessed because I was one of those who was blessed with 2 daddies. I had my earthly daddy and my bonus dad, okay? My bonus dad has been here almost 30 years. So to the daughters, the sisters, the wives, I am praying with you. I understand. I know the feeling. But I feel like today is the day that you need to do something to make you feel good. Okay? If your dad or your husband is not here, celebrate them by doing something you know that they would want to do. My dad drank Michelob. I hate beer, but every birthday and Father's Day, Christmas, I'm going to give me a Michelob, and I'll probably take 2 or 3 sips. But I do that to honor and to celebrate him. A few years ago, when I was kind of going through therapy and I did some grieving counseling, my pastor said one thing to me. He said, instead of you being sad about their death, when their death anniversary day comes around, do something to celebrate them. And celebrating them, that'll make you smile, that'll make you happy. And so for that, I try to celebrate. So Spillers, if you are without a father or a husband this year, for their transition reasons, which is something that we cannot help or prevent, celebrate them, honor them. What you were about to say, Mr. Wilson?
I was just looking at you, Tyler.
But you was about to say something.
I'm about to say nothing.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the topic. Now, the first thing I want to do, I need some explaining. I need answers, okay? Because Jim Jones already been on social media clowning. He said that when Mother's Day comes, the social media timelines are filled. You got the gifts, velour, blah, blah, blah. But when Father's Day comes, you hear and see crickets. He said, this is the year, this is a new day. He posted it today. He said, just like y'all start celebrating Father's Day early, Mother's Day early, we're about to start celebrating Father's Day early. Y'all not going to keep putting us on the back burner. Do you agree with that, Mr. Wilson? Do you feel like we honor mothers more than we honor fathers?
Yeah.
Explain your answer, sir. Why? Wow. How? What?
Mother Day, just say if it ain't about just say for Mother Day, y'all have a big meal.
Who cooks the meal, though?
Not the mother.
Mm.
I don't know who cooking the daughters. But Father's Day come, ain't nobody talking about eating nothing. Ain't nobody talking about going nowhere to eat.
We making y'all barbecue.
Happy Father's Day was now you get a couple ticks. Happy Father's Day. Cause somebody then reminded them of the text.
Right.
They go out after Mother's Day though.
So we do go out after Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So you agree with the hype? I can't get with it because, well, I know what I do in my household for my fathers and for my husband. I feel like I'll go out all out.
I mean, you do that for everything.
Like, yeah, I just need a reason to celebrate.
It's Sunday.
Let's do this. That's the truth, fellas. It doesn't matter what it is, baby. Miss Wilson don't turn up. I'm going to celebrate. But I do disagree. I feel like, I guess it just depends on the household, you know. But my social media has been going ham. And a lot of my male followers have been chiming in too, saying, yeah, the women, Mother's Day come and they do this, blah, blah, blah. But when Father's Day come, you don't hear nothing, you don't see nothing. And I just, that's not how it goes in my household.
Majority of men don't even know when Father's Day is. That's how much attention they get on.
That is so sad. But they know what Mother's Day is.
We thought Mother's Day was right next to Father's Day was right after Mother's Day. Yeah, it's a month or something.
We need time to get over Mother's Day so we can celebrate y'all.
I tell you, ask majority of men, man, when Father's Day? Like, I don't even know. I don't know what day it is. I don't really know what. I know it's in either June or July.
And it ain't never been no July. Well, I disagree, but to each his own. You know, a lot of men have said this, so contrary to what I believe, it must be some truth to it in some households. But in this household, baby, like you said, I find a reason to celebrate, and I love to be celebrated, but I love to celebrate others. So y'all see my baby girl at two birthday situations. Husband, you know, Father's Day is right after his birthday, so he gets the goods.
Right after, it's a month after.
It's really not a month. Technically, it's 3 weeks because your birthday is 27th, Father's Day 19. Well, 3 weeks. Thank you. I don't get a break to do anything. Anyway, so that's neat. Okay, I'm kind of torn, but I don't agree. But I see that that's some people experience, so nothing we can do about it. So I told y'all earlier that I hadn't talked to Mr. Wilson about none of this conversation. He doesn't even know the question, so I'm just going to dive in, okay? So, Mr. Wilson, we're going to have a transparent moment since it's Father's Day, Mama's baby's daddy's maybe. We said that earlier, right? Mm-hmm. I need you to respond and let me know. I know your dad wasn't around for you as much growing up. You do know your father. You was around your father, but I guess as you gotten older, the relationship was kind of strained. Do you feel or think that his absence had an effect, whether it was negative or positive, on the life choices that you made growing up?
No. You said he wasn't around. He wasn't around at all.
Well, he was around until you was like a certain age. You saw him and then you stopped.
I don't remember that age.
Okay. Well, do you think that his absence had any effect on the choices that you've made in life?
Not at all.
Okay, so why can you kind of give us some details or something?
I mean,
this is an open-ended question.
I don't feel like if he was in my life, that it was gonna help change. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So you feel like that?
But I don't feel like it. I feel like this. If he was there, I was still gonna make the same choice. Okay. But he probably could have talked to me about something different. Everybody talked to me about everything except for God. So probably if he would have, I don't know.
So maybe
if he would have been there,
but
who's to say he would have talked to me about that?
You right.
You know, so I'm saying I really don't know. And for a person to answer that can answer that, they don't know.
Okay, and I asked that because I'm an educator, and this is the narrative that people use when it comes to children, okay? We have children that we see every single day that has all type of issues, literally all type of issues. And when we're trying to diagnose, well, we don't diagnose those issues, but when we're doing our anecdotal records with our like notes and observing the behaviors that they're displaying or projecting, we're notating all of this so that we can take it to someone, a therapist or someone more qualified, to help us to understand where these behaviors are coming from. And one of the first things that doctors and therapists look for is the child's home life. Where is this child's parents? Where is the mom and dad? And as soon as it's mentioned, there's an absent parent, they blame some of the behaviors on that absent parent or the lack of love that child is receiving from the absent parent. So I just it's just a question that's been raised for a long time, and I'm glad you told me that that's not it. I had the best of both worlds. Like I said, I was blessed with an amazing earthly father and biological father. An amazing bonus dad. None of it was perfect. However, I understood that as a child, you know what I'm saying? I had to be in a child's place when it came to certain things. But when I wanted to display my emotions from certain things, I displayed them. But that wasn't based on the love that I received from any of my dads, if that makes sense. That makes sense to you? Okay, so...
Look, hold on before you jump off. Just think about the ones that's like the ones being foster care. Just think about the ones, I'm talking about the parents that get them when they newborn. And they raised,
Mm-hmm.
and they turn out to be good.
Mm-hmm.
What about when they raise them, they turn out to be bad?
And that's why I asked, because that's a real life situation. You have great foster parents or parents that adopt kids that are great parents and great families. But because of trauma, because of mental issues, because of certain things that kids go or has been through, or that's maybe in their genes or they were born with, like they were born alcohol fever syndrome or drug babies, they try to base these behaviors on those things, even though they were raised, with from great homes and great parents. I just wanted to know from a person that experienced the absence of a parent, like, can we really say that makes us or would have an effect on choices that we make, or they did this or they have these behaviors because the mama wasn't there, the daddy wasn't there.
Nah, but that is a crush that everybody can ride on.
Yeah, and it's a crush that a lot of people ride on. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate to me, this day and time. And with therapy being so prominent now and so, just out there, and it's not looked at in a negative light, I feel like now there's no excuse. We've been saying for so long the mama wasn't there, the daddy wasn't there, the grandma raised them. Okay, what's next? We have therapists that can help us deal with that trauma. You know what I'm saying? You have parents and people that are adopting and fostering these kids in great homes. What's next? You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you for clearing that up for me. And I probably need to get somebody else's perspective too.
Yeah.
But I appreciate yours.
I might not be no smarter than that.
I appreciate yours. Okay, so I believe that daddies are a girl's first love. I really do. I believe that people say when women have boys, the boys or the son is their first and last true love. They're going to have loves after that, be it their husbands, new husbands, booze, whatever. They said them boys is something with the boys that does something to women. And my family, my cousins, they be joking when they say that our mamas and aunts love the boys more. But they say something is something about a son's love. But they also say that it's something about a daddy and a daughter's bond. They say the daughter softens the dad up. The dad is the daughter's first love. Whenever she looks for a man, she looks for a man with the characteristics and the attributes of her father, right? But if the father is not there, they say that the girl looks for that fatherly love in everybody and everything else, and it's the same for men. They say if the mother wasn't there for the man, it's going to determine the way he treats and respect a woman.
So how long they got to be that way?
I don't know. No, I'm just telling you what studies say and what most people say. I mean, that's just what
studies say. If the parent was around from birth to 8 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's when the bond starts at about 3.5 to 4. But just imagine from birth until the child is able to embed and retain memory and emotions. That happens at about 3.5 years old. So from birth, you've been there from birth, and then once they get 3.5, you're all that they know. That's a love that they'll never forget or never, want to replace or never, you know what I'm saying?
To what age?
Forever.
No, I'm saying you said from what to 3?
From birth until 3. When you're about 3.5, when you're about 40 months old, that's when your brain starts to make worldly connections. And it starts to retain and embed emotions, right? So if you are loving on your kid and you're hugging them and you're I love you, and they see you there and they feel you there every day, all day, they're embedding those emotions. They retain those emotions. So if that's what that child is experiencing and know, then that's what they're going to project, if that makes sense. But do you feel that the daddy and daughter relationship, I'm gonna hit home. Do you feel the daddy and daughter relationship has an effect on the relationships that the daughter chooses?
Yeah.
You do? Can you go into detail with that? And I'm asking because you're a girl dad. You know, and so, you know, you've been in your baby's life all of their life. You had your little issue where you had to sit down, but you were still there, you know, during that time. But they knew before, then, and after, you know what I'm saying? But do you feel like that regardless if daddy is there? Because listen, I've seen daddies that have been with the mama for 50 years and raised their daughters together, and the daughters was only, and the daughter still made whatever decision she wanted to make and fell from a few cliffs and chose some people that were nothing like the daddy. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of made me wonder, like, what is it that you're really looking for? See, it's like,
that's why I say I can't say that because my kids, like,
you
know what I'm saying? You go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, no. What you're not going to do is disrespect my children on this here podcast.
My baby.
Well, I know you're not, but
I don't know how to. I mean, you like, you know, kind of. You said they be looking for a father. You know.
See, I should have chose somebody else to this
episode. I'm sitting here listening to you the whole time. Come out with, I'm like, nah, I know you ain't for I did my best.
Oh my God. Why me?
My two right there. That's my two. Now, when it comes to them, I'd be most scared of what the next person. Because I don't think they looking for nothing like their dad.
I wouldn't. Baby Dominique give you the blues every time she comes. She's like, ooh, I'm sick of you.
That was a text and talk about. I said, text me. Why you won't answer now?
And she's 27.
Yeah.
A big daddy's girl.
But they is some daddy girl. I just don't know. I mean, you know, I guess they didn't got an older day. Trying to figure out themselves. Trying to figure themselves out.
And one thing about you, you're not the type of father that micromanages every decision that they make. You let them figure it out for themselves.
What if I let them micromanage? What if I let them do that coming with me and you and they, nah, dad, you see, cause we got some that do that. Nah, I ain't gonna do them like that, so they won't think they can just come do me like that. No, well, I got some respect for them.
Yeah, and I appreciate that even though they are your babies, it's respecting. Yeah. Like, I'm still gonna respect you because I expect you to respect me. Yeah. So I appreciate that. But never mind.
Yeah,
just ooh, child, Mr. Wilson, you something else. But what about the girls that are fully aware of their father, his existence? They have a way of conversing with him anytime they want. They can call, text, blah, all of that, but they don't. One of the main reasons why they don't do it because he don't call or text me, so I ain't calling and texting him.
Well, I feel him on that because
oh gosh,
it's 50-50. It's just that's in a relationship. You know, I told you that from the jump, 50-50. You keep talking about 80-20.
And 80-20.
That's why the parents ain't getting no call.
Listen, we're not comparing our relationship to children's relationship. This is the marriage.
That's
but not any relationship.
No, I was saying 50-50.
When it comes to Mac?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, but not our relationship.
Nah, I'm talking about you know what I'm saying, the text and the call. She called me every day. You said for the ones that don't.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Listen to what you had me, I'm listening.
Get on the mic, baby.
Because I'm listening.
Okay, so what I was asking you that even though you say it's 50-50, I'm old school, y'all. I believe in Ephesians 6:1-6, you know, where the Bible tells us about obeying our parents, you know, that being the laws of the land. You know, it does talk about children, parents not provoking their children, but the Bible is very, very concise. And God is clear when he say obey your parents so that you may live long on the earth.
Boy, if your parents ain't told you, you better call me. You're not disobeying them by not calling. I mean, you can call like my mom. She used to say, well, my mama said the child's supposed to call. Mm-hmm. I said, well, that's cool, but it ain't. To me, I feel like it's both of it. It's 50-50. If I don't call you, you call me. Why would you sit around and not call your child because they ain't called you? That's crazy. I couldn't do it. I'd text them, say something crazy.
Yeah, man, you gonna do that.
What's up with you? It ain't gotta be no, you supposed to call me. Because they don't say that in the Bible. About obeying like that.
It don't say it in the Bible, but if you're the child, then you have to, and I said that because if you ain't calling and checking on your people, I'm going to say, pick that phone up and text. And it hadn't caused turmoil, but it's almost like, why do I always have to, you know what I'm saying? And I've never really known how to answer that. But I just feel like as a parent, I want to raise my child to do what's right. Now, if she decide not to do it, or that if your child decide not to do it, that's between them and God and the other person. But I want to lead by example and show my baby it's okay to be the bigger person sometimes. It's not going to harm you to reaching out and saying, hey, how are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Father's Day. Like, it is not going to kill you to say that. But I also try to set her up to not have expectations to receive anything back. If you get something back, cool. If you don't, you did the right thing. You did what was right, and you were the bigger person. And you will get your blessing for being the bigger person. Yeah, like, is that wrong for a parent pursuing or trying to, like, convince their child to do what's right?
No, but in, you know, you got the different stroke for different folks. Mm-hmm. These circumstances different now. If you got a situation like you was just talking about, if you got a father figure in your life that you getting everything that you think that you supposed to be getting from your daddy, you ain't gonna remember to call. You ain't gonna remember to call this other daddy and keep checking in with him when you got this daddy here. You ain't, you don't. So yeah, when you keep reminding them to do that, yeah,
it frustrates them.
Yeah. You got me there.
Did you say, ooh, Lord?
I said, ooh, girl. I'm glad I leaned back out there. Yeah,
oh, my goodness.
It depends on what it is, though, baby. You can't just... Because if you, I did have a stepdad, and he was cool.
Yeah, you were real cool,
yeah,
just like that.
He was real
like, you
cool,
still have pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if my mama would have said, now you already and then kind of convinced me to call this man dad. Well, you didn't, but you bring him around and he playing this father role. And, you know, you ain't no call, start calling him dad. Then you gonna tell me this my dad, his father. You teach your dad and tell him happy Father's Day. Well, you got me calling him dad. I ain't want me to. I'm gonna pick and choose one for you. Yeah. I ain't calling him. I'm gonna stick with this.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Like that sometimes.
Clearly. Goodness. Oh, that's a struggle for me. That's something I have to learn then, personally. And I brought that question up because that's a personal struggle that I deal with, Spillers. Like
you want your baby to have
like me.
Father figure. I'm talking about that bed.
And that was something I prayed for, baby.
And then when she get one that I'm talking about love dearly. Yeah. Don't even think about.
Yeah.
Then you come to and wanna.
Because I feel like it's imperative that I make sure to cultivate those relationships so that when she's grown and whatever choice she makes as an adult, it's on her. But I want to do my part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And suggest and don't make.
Okay. Whew.
What about that on
that? Whatever. Anyway, so since we're on that subject, do you think, Mr. Wilson, that when the mamas move on, like the baby mamas B-A, B-Y-M-A, this goes out to all my baby mamas, I got love. Yeah, when the baby mamas move on, be it new relationships, a husband, married, all of that good stuff, do you think that can have an effect on the father's relationship, the biological father's relationship with the child? Yeah. So who mad? Who mad?
You never know. I mean, you got to be in them. You got to be there because, like I say, you got some mothers out here that done ran some daddies off. The daddies ain't left on their own. They ain't just. Yeah, you get tired.
So how do the mothers run the daddies out?
Well,
I need answers.
Use a mother. You probably.
I haven't ran nobody off though.
No, but you probably ain't kept them either.
Clearly. Wow.
I mean, it be just things that happen. You don't know what happened. What if the mama was getting beat up? The kid don't know it.
Okay. So
they separated. That the daddy leave. You know, they might be thinking, well, mama, why you giving dad away from her? But she don't want to tell him, well, your daddy was hitting on me.
Right.
You know, so
Or cheating, or...
So it's, I mean, it's just different. I mean,
But, because my thing is, just because the mama moves on, that would make the daddy feel some type of way to where
I'm saying, what if she moved on in a harsh way? I mean,
like bitter.
A man is a man before he become a baby daddy.
Ooh.
He's still a man, so you ain't gonna, just cause you got a child by a woman, you don't let this woman talk to you or treat you in any kind of way. Now, if that what ran you off, some people tough enough to stand around and have it, cause I would talk crazy back to her. It just been some crazy talking going on for a minute, but I wouldn't have ran away. But you know, I'm telling you, it just be some things. But then you got the mama family member. Mm-hmm. What if she got a big family? Mm-hmm. This man can't do nothing.
I mean nothing.
Nothing. He's sitting around. He can't joke. This man can't do nothing.
Like Marceau on Marriage Huntsville.
Can't do nothing. So he like, man, I ain't gonna keep going. Then what if they like you? You love your family. Okay. You want to be around them all the time.
And do.
Okay, what if I was that dude we talking about?
Well,
which never happened.
Thank God.
But if I was to go down there and just be sitting around, man, no, that ain't. You let it bring them like, baby, I don't want no company. You bring them in away. Then they get over here, they want to start something.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what? I'm going to leave.
So I get that. I get that part. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. It is. But do you feel like, I don't think it's fair, because I know situations to where the mother has moved on in a healthy way. Yeah. And moved on, and when she moved on, everything was copacetic. I mean, good with the child's father. You know what I'm saying? But when she moved on, she got engaged, she got married, and of course, it's nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes out that is what's going on, the relationship with the mother, because the mother cuts all communication off with the child father to respect her spouse, her partner, and because the child is old enough to converse and have their own bonding relationship with the father kind of not only is mad at the mama, but takes that anger out from the mom on the child. Like, is that fair? Like, who does that? Why would men behave like that?
Yeah, they ask the men that do it.
But I'm just saying, like,
that's a whole question. That's something you have to ask that man you talking about. He ain't gonna give you no straight answer. And all you gotta do is tell you, I ain't over you yet. I still want you.
You know, back in the day, the church school, the pastor say, if you can't say nothing at all, you just wave your head. In this situation, I can't say nothing. I just shake my head. Help me, God.
Okay. Are you getting help?
Mr. Wilson. Okay. So next, you just throws me all off my spot. I just don't know. Anyway, so I have watched so many girls have crazy relationships with their stepfathers, which for the life of me, I just don't understand. I can't agree. I've always had a real father-daughter relationship with my daddy Rich. It ain't always been perfect, but we've always had a real live father-daughter relationship. Like, did stuff for me when my daddy couldn't do it, or he was just always there. If my daddy was there, he was still there. Okay? But even when you have an amazing stepdaddy, or the image of the stepdaddy is portrayed amazingly, you know what I'm saying? Like, he looks like he's the bomb.com. Why do we think, what do you think may cause turmoil between a stepdaughter and a bonus dad? And I'm asking that because you are a bonus dad, but you're an amazing bonus dad. Thank you. Thank you for being so awesome.
I don't know what to tell you, Amanda. You welcome.
You ain't never got to worry about her saying thank you. Well, she has, because that letter she wrote for you, big bubble, you had tears in them eyeballs.
But she said.
But she told you at her mouth. Yeah. See, that's what's up. So I like to thank you, even though I tell you all the times, microphone's off. We can just be in the bed cuddling, and I'll just tell you. But so the world can know. I appreciate you for being so amazing. When I prayed for my husband, I ask God to bless me with a man that's going to love my daughter like he loves his own daughter. And you've exceeded it. But the Bible tells us that he can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we ask, think, or believe within Christ Jesus. And you have really done that. So
yeah, because a lot of it wasn't intentional. You know,
it just happened.
Because that little girl there.
He talking about intentional. Baby, that little girl got him wrapped around his fingers. Like, if you all, I wish every step or bonus father and every bonus daughter could experience their relationship. And I'm not bragging because we are truly blessed and I'm so grateful to God. But if you were just a fly on the wall and you saw how naturally beautiful their relationship is, their love for each other. Remember when you first came around, McKenzie said you were 75% ugly.
And she said I'm still like that. But
and he found me, honey.
Your stepdad had it easy.
Bonus dad.
Bonus dad. He had it easy.
How did he have it easy?
How old was you?
Well, I mean, I was grown when him and mama married legally, but he was in my life since I was 11, 12.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the same exact age.
I say because I come in and it was a grown little woman.
She was. But when she's with you, she's a whole newborn baby.
Yeah, I was about when I come in, though. She's enough for the big baby.
And everything that a father does, my husband goes above and beyond. I have never been, that's another thing, ladies, make sure that whomever he is, that you are 1000% comfortable, that you trust him, especially if you have a growing kid, a growing young lady. And when I say growing, y'all know exactly what I mean by growing. I'm talking about front, back, side to side. Make sure they're around somebody that you can completely trust. And he treats her like she is his. Like we've had a conversation where he felt like, dang, I've probably been around this girl longer than, what I've been around her. 3 years. You know what I'm saying? But, it's amazing to see. So thank you.
But back to your question.
Yeah, back to my question because I jumped off for a second. Whatever. Keep going. Oh, you just go.
What will cause that is, in me and my baby case, us taking my kindness for a week. Because she can do it. She will do it.
Because she knows that you love her and she knows that.
She know
Mr. Wilson,
he'll be mad tonight, but tomorrow I go in there, he gonna be alright.
I go give him a hug.
One time I ain't gonna be alright.
She'll come hug him and say, I love you, Mr. Wilson. He just don't know what to do after that. I just shake my head, honey. He done talked all this stuff about how he not gone. And she come in and give him a hug. I love you, Mr. Wilson. You want breakfast? You want me to cook something? She know how to melt that butter, baby. Know that thing know how to eat. Oh, gosh. Okay, and I asked that question because, like I said, I just need answers. First of all, if we are bringing a man into our house or into our dynamic of children and ourselves, then to me there's no reason why children shouldn't get along with adults anyway. Because for one, it's respect first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Second of all, whomever that partner is, that husband, that bonus dad is, need to understand the boundaries, need to understand the importance of relationships and building relationships. When you're coming into something, you have to build trust. And that's something that
50-50.
No.
50-50.
Well, probably with McKenzie, but
you got a lot of friends, so I know you was going into 50-50.
Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there. When we bring somebody into our dynamic, women, we have to be okay with allowing them to build that and establish that relationship and that bond. And we got to step out of the way. And I prayed for what I wanted, but I also had to learn to step back and to let them, because I was nervous, y'all. When McKenzie talking to my husband, I never forget, baby. Oh, I never forget. What was that, July 26th, 5th, 2019? That girl said, Mama, he's 75% ugly. And I was like, huh? She said, he ugly. I was like, Lord, she ain't gonna like this man. Ooh, she ain't gonna like him.
She said it because she knew I was already. She
knew you was handsome.
I guarantee you when she grow up, she gonna get her
a big old black.
A dark skin.
Not stallion, because stallion.
I don't know if he gonna be tall or short. He gonna be dark.
But listen,
and it got to be fun.
Has to be charismatic and witty and all of that, because yeah, gotta be that. But I was not expecting the bond to be the way it is, but I had to step back. So when we're bringing men into these type of situations, we have to step back, women. Like, we have to let the relationships and whatever.
When you learn this?
Boy, whatever. We have to step back and we have to let it form organically. If we do not let it form organically, I can't wait till y'all see the video because he is really showing that. If we're not allowing it to form organically, then it's going to be chaotic. Okay? And that's what I did, Mr. Wilson. Did I not step back for real?
No,
After a
you
second.
You didn't have a choice because you used to be mad. You used to be like, you watching movies with Mac all day.
Well, it wasn't a mad thing, but I was like, Negro, you need to be able to balance.
You got to learn
to balance. And that's what I said.
I ain't balanced with my baby. My baby want to watch a movie, we going to watch a movie.
And McKinsey was getting to the point, y'all, she'll just randomly come.
She knew it.
So what's that? And movie. And I just look at her, just want to throw something at her. But it was love for me. Like, I learned to appreciate it. And even now, they go in the room, they watch their movies, y'all. They go on movie dates or out to eat dates without me. I'm good. Yeah, she did say she's gonna treat you to the movie soon. The new movie that came in. But I'm good. You know what I'm saying? With seeing that now, because I see their relationship, I see their bond. I'm grateful, so grateful to God for it. I thank God every day, all day, literally, for that, their relationship and their bond. But that's something that, women have to learn to do, to step back and allow those relationships to cultivate organically. If we don't, then it's going to be chaotic. And I'm dead serious. And that's what, and sometimes, like, people really think that sometimes, like, women be jealous of the relationship. People be jealous of everything. Yeah. Men be jealous of the relationship that women have with their children.
But they sons, especially they sons.
Sons and daughters, because I know some grown men to this day that, like, battles grown women with their grown children. It's like, bruh, you still, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And so I said that to say, I feel like once we step back and allow the relationships to grow into what they're supposed to be, they'll be amazing relationships. But we cannot force them. We have to take our hands off of them. And you have to be like me. For a second, I was like, mm-mm. And then for a second, I was like, oh, Lord. And for a second, I was like, nah, you need to find balance, brother. Because once they became attached, I knew it was going to be no turning back. Because Mackenzie has that type of effect. And Mr. Wilson has that type of effect. They're both Geminis.
And my baby can eat.
And they both like to eat. So that's another bond they share. Okay. So my last question is, and this is the last conversation I want to have when it comes to daughters being raised. We have access to our biological fathers, right? But our bonus dads are in our lives, and they're just as amazing as a biological father, and we have a closer bond with our bonus dad than our biological father. How do we feel when it comes to, like, the father-daughter dances, debutante balls, homecoming courts, senior nights, and even a wedding when the dad is supposed to escort them? Like, would you feel some type of way if you've been in your bonus child's life all these years, you are all she knows, and then she decides that when she gets married, she wants her biological dad to walk her down the aisle?
Girl, you ever had a threesome? You better have one walking down the aisle. Me, him, and you better walk down the aisle.
And I know somebody that did that. My best friend Trudy, she did that. That was amazing. She had both of them, and I appreciated the beauty of that. However, for me, and I'm just being honest, if I were ever in a situation like that, I'm not going to negate my biological father's presence or the fact that he's my father and I love him. Because of him, I exist. However, I'm going to honor who's been the father in my life. And that's just my personal opinion. That's just me.
That's how you keep both of them happy.
That's how you keep both of them happy. But I didn't say I was doing all that, though. I said I was going to make sure that I give my biological daddy his props for being there.
How would you know his props?
Because I can say he's there, and I can have him to maybe walk me to the door. And then when it's time to walk down the aisle to be given away, I'm being given away by the man that has been there for me, who's met my husband, who's been around my husband, and that good stuff. You're not gonna get the glitz and glam in the wedding. And when I needed conversation and help and counseling when me and the fiance was going through it, I had to get it. If both of them was around, then that's 1000% sure where both of y'all walking me down the aisle. Both of y'all gonna be in the dressing room with me to come to the door and get me. Both of y'all gonna walk through the entrance door with me. And when we get to the pastor, the pastor's gonna say, "Who give these birds away?" And y'all both are gonna say, "We do." It ain't gonna be no I, it's gonna be we. But what if the biological dad hadn't been there and then didn't come back around until you're like 23, 24, and you get married when you're 25, 26? Do you feel like it's okay that he just gets to jump in and walk down the aisle?
What if he was there from 0 to 12?
You know what?
What if he was there from the birth to 12 though?
And then waited to come back when
left, disappeared, or ran off, or fell in love with whatever make him leave until she turned 22, 24, and then they come back around. Then she get married when she's 27. But what if I'm saying you said that bond? What if that bond was that strong from there to there, and even though this other man came into life, cause she ain't had no control of her,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Right. But he was nice, he was kind, he was charming enough or whatever to get along with her, and then her daddy get out, her come home, move back, or have he pop up, and she ain't mad at him.
That's what normally happens.
Yeah, and he like, well, y'all you get married, huh? Yeah, what?
But that's what normally happens because girls, we love our daddies that much that our daddies can do no wrong, in our eyes. Now the mama might be sitting around looking crazy with an attitude. The bonus dad may be okay, may even be understand.
He gonna be okay.
Right, but it's the bonus mama with the issue.
You get the bonuses.
But it's the mama with the issue. But that's ultimately the child's decision. Yeah. For me, I would allow my child the opportunity to make that choice on their own. Now, if it's something that I agree with, not so much. But do I have so much say so over? Absolutely not.
Would you better have some more babies?
Anyway,
you don't worry about that on this.
Absolutely not. So we're about to wrap this conversation up. He sure know how to end it, but you know what to do to shut it down, don't you? Well, Mr. Wilson, I appreciate you for joining me today, for being the best guest host, resident host.
I know you.
Whatever. Yeah. For being the best resident host and joining us. We didn't really talk about a lot of stuff. Yes, it is. We didn't really talk about a lot of what I really wanted to talk about, but I think I kind of hit the meat. Well, I wanted to, but I have a certain amount of time. I have a time limit, and I like to stay within my time limit. You
start breaking your introduction down.
My introductions, all that stuff.
Because you took time for me. Oh, no, you ain't got nothing to say. Wait like you did in the church. Remember what the pastor said? You ain't got nothing to say. This way. Yeah. I'm waving. Cut me short.
Well, anyway, I appreciate you, sir. Did you want to leave us with any last words?
See you next time.
Next time. Because next time I think we got to do something for Pride Month. So I think.
For who?
Pride Month.
Pride. Like me can't swallow my pride?
No, like rainbow LGBTQT. So, I may need you to come in on that conversation.
I can talk about anything.
I know you can. That's why I like to bring you in. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Mr. Wilson. Is there anything else you want to say before I turn your mic off?
You gonna turn my mic on?
Off. OFF. All the way off. All right, can you tell the Spillers bye until next time?
All right, Spiller.
Thank you.
She done put me out.
See, you get just extra. Your microphone is now off. Spillers, thank you for tuning in with me in that conversation with Mr. Wilson about mama's babies, daddy's maybes. But before I leave, Spillers, y'all know that I have to leave you with some words of encouragement and motivational words that will hopefully encourage and motivate you until the next episode. Identify embracing you, Spillers. Spillers, we are living in turbulent times. Do not allow the pressures of these times and this world cause you to not be able to fully discover yourself. No relationships, situationships, trials, or tribulations are worth you not embracing you. Heaven is waiting on the real version of you, spillers. So don't clap away who you are trying to be for who or what others want you to be. God formed you uniquely. Embrace every fiber of your being because that's how He designed you. And because He designed you that way, spillers, you are His masterpiece. Identify, embrace, and love every part of you. I love you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, spillers, it's your girl, Mrs. Wilson, signing out. Bye-bye. Keep your eyes on me. Eyes on me. Apply that pressure. Can you exit the... Can you stop it?
I'm talking about the music playing.
No, I'm finna push it up. I'm gonna push it up and I'm gonna listen to it for a few minutes and then I'm finna come and lay down with you.
What we eat? You ain't hungry?
You hungry again?
Shit, girl, you ain't giving me none of them, but them things are nothing to eat. What you think? Them things, so we poop, it's gone.
Well, what you wanna eat? What do you wanna eat?
I don't like the way you put me off your podcast.
Say it in front of the camera so the spillers can hear you.
They can hear it.
No, they can't.
I don't like the way you put me off your podcast.
How I put you on my podcast?
But you got time limit.
I do. We've been on an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, the other ones you got busy, an hour and 45 minutes.
No, they don't. I have not done 1 hour and 45 since the episode with Cat now. Every episode after that has been an hour and 15 minutes.
Girl, please. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see.
Yeah, because you don't know because you don't listen. You don't download and listen to the episodes.
Because that's what I'm going to show you.
Yeah, show me. Show me the money.
I ain't got to show you no money. I'm going to show you your Spotify. Look at all that. The only one I ain't listened to
is what?
All of them, nigga. I don't even know what you be talking about. You just be talking.
So you the only person that listen?
I don't know why you say it.
So I got to get on to McDaniel now because they haven't been listening.
I don't know why you say it don't show. That's something you need to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Look at me.